the most efficient database for the thing that is money. I said like the least amount of
The most efficient database for the thing that is money. I feel like you haven't thought this one through. I feel like this is an idea in your head that's cool in concept. You got this thing called X, and then it's like it controls basically like half of the global economy. How? X.
All change at Twitter. First it was the ship, now it's the brand, with the website's bird icon making way for a simple X. But is it that simple? And why the change? What's behind owner Elon Musk's move? And what will users make of it? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Adrian Finnegan. He bought Twitter for $44 billion, so perhaps it shouldn't be unexpected that Elon Musk wants to leave his mark on the social media website. But the announcement that a simple X will replace the iconic bird logo surprised millions of Twitter users, as well as investors and the marketing world.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I was an investor, I certainly would be taking for a ride. I mean, this entire ordeal was kind of a ride. It's the biggest financial loss in not only tech, but possible business history. That's wild. Taking something that was only estimated to be about 22 billion, overpaying, so already paying twice what it's valued at, and then shrinking the value of that 22 billion into what, like 6? Pretty rapidly too, turning the whole thing into some weird Nazi experiment where the Nazis are the verified check marks. No one likes using it. It's deeply, deeply troubling and upsetting. Those who are left are just like, wow, it is just like the gallows that are left here. It's not a pleasant experience. And hey, every single one of us who at one point or another had really built up our own social media, I didn't pay for bots. I'm au naturel, you know. I'm 100% a natty, is that what they say? Yeah, 100% natty. I grew my account through memes, through dunks, through slams, sometimes through mistakes, and sometimes through cell phones. I'll accept a few of those, fine. I took a couple L's along the way. We all do, by the way. Matt Taibbi, admit it, you take some L's, we all do. You should take the L and then you should delete or apologize and then you should just quit altogether. You're really spiraling right now. Anyways, it's yeah, it is what it is. It's pretty weird that after all that you've done, all that's gone by, and how rugged it is, all the fucking advertisers have pulled ship, because of course no one wants to advertise on the Nazi platform anymore. And it's like, hey, look, all these Holocaust deniers are blue check marks and they're posting a lot of white supremacist shit now. Looks like all the old white supremacists who got kicked off of Twitter, you've given them all their accounts back, and they're all doing exactly what you'd expect a whole bunch of white supremacists to do, which is spread white supremacy on the platform. And it's deeply anti-Semitic, it's deeply anti-black, deeply anti-indigenous, it's racist as fuck, it's definitely anti-woman, and holy shit is it transphobic. Oh man, just like go on there for 2 seconds and you're like, whoa, yikes. Did not expect to see all of these different things happening at once. That's a lot of vectors of oppression going on there. You are deeply troubled and angry, but boy, oh boy, do you hate women. And now you're just trying to say, well, I don't actually hate women, I hate the idea of men and women's spaces, so I want to control women's spaces. It's like, well, not much has changed then. You still hate women and you want to control women's spaces. You just think you have a shiny new toy and you get to rebrand yourself as some kind of a feminist now, but we all see through you. We know what's going on here. So Twitter sucks and it's terrible. It's a nightmare. And so why not take the last thing that it had going for it? The very last one, which was brand recognition. Because again, have you ever thought of the idea of like Googling someone, what that means, like what I've just said out loud, to Google someone, like if I was like to Google Twitter, right there, the very brand recognition and the idea of searching, it's so synonymous with Google that it's actually like a concept in and of itself, to Google it, right? Well, Twitter had its brand recognition not at the same tier, obviously, but very high. Tweeting, the very idea, like it's become ingrained in society, and you're removing the very last thing that makes it what it was, the very last thing that has people like, well, there is value in Twitter the concept, Twitter the logo, obviously they've spent years and years cultivating that. Even if it is not one of the like the top 10 social medias that there is out there, it's still got 200 million users, you know, it's still very, very recognizable. It's still like in terms of apps and names, like the very concept of having these short kind of tech sounding name apps. Twitter is one of the many that were so successful that it inspired the idea of having that. You're going to take all that away for something that you're nearly impossibly not going to be able to copyright because it's a letter in the alphabet. You know, Like, as cool as it sounds to you as a concept, because you think it's very futuristic to be like, X. You know, it sounds like spaceman power, like X. Yes, I control X, which in turn controls the global financial system. All is all, and all is X, the alpha and omega, by which I mean the X. Like, no matter how cool you think this sounds in your mind, from a business standpoint, from a copyright standpoint, from a fucking branding standpoint, it's a nightmare. And you know why I know it's a nightmare? Because everyone told Elon Musk it was a nightmare years ago. This was an idea that he's had since the PayPal days. He wanted to change the name of PayPal to X, and he wanted X to become part of this larger like process of having a completely, synthesized and synchronized global financial system and social media system that is akin to a lot of the nightmarish ones you see in Black Mirror, or the ones that have been experimented in certain parts of China, for example, where there's social credit scores, or at least something akin to that. That whole idea, it was shut down multiple times by people much smarter than him, people who worked with him at PayPal, including Peter Thiel and others who were like, no, because again, the branding on this is nearly impossible. Just what, X in and of itself, like the letter? Yeah, you can't own that. You can't copyright that. I mean, it's pretty nuts that, like, you know, corporations are capable of copyrighting things like the Happy Birthday song, I'll grant you, but this one is a little too far. So there's already so many different X-style things that people know. It's typically associated with porn. Yeah, like X videos. Like, I noticed X videos, the account is locked on Twitter. I don't know how recent that happened, but that's kind of weird that the account is locked on Twitter now. And also, why do you think that, like, people are going to suddenly think of X videos as being something other than porno, you know?
His takeover of the website has been turbulent, to say the least, with mass layoffs of staff, concerns over how content is moderated, and criticism of changes to the social media platform. So what's behind the branding transformation? How will it go down? And what's Musk hoping to gain from it? We'll be asking these questions and more with our guests in just a few moments. But first, a report from Sarah Khaidat.
It's no secret that the world's richest man has ambitious plans for one of the world's most used social media platforms. And in true Elon Musk style, he told his followers on Saturday that they too could become part of his new vision for Twitter. Then on Sunday, his Twitter profile changed. The blue bird logo was out and in with a new black and white X. The rebranding beamed onto Twitter headquarters in the US, and the logo change, Musk has said.
This is so silly. It's so silly. Like, it just from the top on down. This whole thing has been silly and ridiculous from the get-go, and it's just been like, obviously it has been a spectacle to watch in real time, I won't lie. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, we just didn't have the technology to watch something of this diversity go down in the past. Like, nothing this divorced could happen in the past, because again, like, we didn't have a global communication system that was capable of, you know, broadcasting people's thoughts on a scale to which, like, any single person within their own hands tangibly had the ability to express their opinion, and then we'd all receive it like a global text message. So yeah, Twitter definitely made that concept popular and spread it globally. And then to have a man who's going through a breakup buy the entire thing twice the price and then epically turn it into such an abject failure, to move inside the building, to live inside the nightmare of his own creation and design while he's just surrounded by literal yes men, and he fires every single person who's not agreeing with his every demand and whim, and now just be like, and now we're changing the whole thing to X. Like, he can't even afford to live in this building. He's so past all of his rent and due. He barely can afford the fucking servers. He's trying to do an MLM scam right now where he's like, hey everyone, sign up for my fucking $8 a month thing, $86 a year, and you can be rich. Oh, how's that gonna work? Well, I'm gonna give you profit sharing, ad revenue sharing. It's like, all your ads are gone though. Like, everyone can see that. Like, the ad revenue has plummeted. There is no more ad revenue. You're even making statements about how, yes, it's a very difficult time right now because we lost all of our advertisers. So what advertising revenue are you talking about? Who's going to get this kind of stuff? Well, Miles Chong, end wokeness. Yeah, end wokeness. That's for sure. Yeah. Hey, how about I just confuse all of you, and I'll do both Andrew Tate, you know, the potential child rapist, and then Brian Krassenstein. I don't know his connection to Andrew Tate or anything like that, but I'm just saying there's a Krassenstein, so there's that. But at the same time, you too could be rich. Sign up now. No one wanted to sign up for like Twitter fucking blue from the get-go outside of his super fans. It's like an Elon Musk super fan club, and then it's like outside of that, no one cares. He's tried everything. He's tried removing all the check marks. Everyone's like, fuck that. All the celebrities were like, fuck that. It's like, okay, fine, I'll give you check marks as a punishment then. And it's like, it sucks so much that you're punishing people with the very product that you want them to buy. Is no one seeing how ridiculous this all is? Does like, I know he's surrounded by yes men, but there has to be at least one person who breaks at a certain point in a room full of people like, no, this was a really good call, you're a genius. It's actually, sir, a fucking, oh, what a masterstroke that you're now punishing people with the very thing that you're trying to get everyone to buy. And oh yes, no, people will definitely want to buy it this time, sir. I'm sure of it. I'm sure this will turn everything around. Yes, just keep going. No, it's a really good idea. Why don't you give a whole bunch of fucking alt-right accounts and far-right fascists, people who are super deeply problematic, give them money. Give them money from your platform, and then everyone else will want to buy in. Yeah, the FOMO for sure. Yeah, when Cat Turd and fucking the Quartering are calling you out, isn't something fucked? When Jeremy Hambley is capable of deducing and figuring out what's actually going on here, when he can find out behind the scenes, when this is like not sophisticated enough to fool Jeremy Hambley of the Quartering, you've got a problem. You've got a massive problem, sir. But X will solve it all.
It is part of his Twitter vision to use the app for multiple purposes, including audio, video chatting, and payments. He's referred to it as
I spoke about it briefly at the start of the segment.
Powered by artificial intelligence, pushing it closer to Asia's so-called super apps. WeChat in China, which is one of the region's biggest platforms, is used as a one-stop app for millions of users' daily needs, well beyond just short messaging. Elon Musk bought Twitter last year for $44 billion.
Catcher too, yes, my mistake.
He fired half of the workforce. Since his takeover, the company has lost half of its advertising revenue. Other changes have included charging users for previously free services, such as the blue verification tick. The signature bird sign was created in 2006 when Twitter was founded, with short messages called tweets, just as birds communicate by chirping. Musk faces new competition from an...
Like, again, you're taking away the last thing that it had left. You're rebranding it, and now it's just like this abomination. I was like, you're gonna be so lucky if like a company comes along like Tencent and offers you $4 billion at this point, and then just rebrands it back to Twitter. That's the best possible outcome for you. No one wants X.
Old adversary. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, owner of Facebook, launched a rival platform called Threads earlier this month. But Elon Musk's fascination with the letter X goes beyond his business ventures, naming his son 2 years ago X. Whether X becomes a mark of success or not, it will define Musk's latest venture.
Again, it's so silly. It's like something that a 16-year-old would think was cool, you know? It's like, yeah, I deeply care about space missions and space travel and science fiction. I think that's awesome. Hyperspace travel, light speed, going beyond the barriers of sound and time to go into new realms of existence in these quantum dimensions. And I will call my project X. I am a space traveler known only as X on the X mission. You know, like, what the fuck?
Whatever happens, a master of self-publicity is keeping him in the news. Sarah Khairat for Inside Story.
And obviously, it's had mixed results in terms of like if you don't notice, by the way, so Twitter it's been rebranded. So this is what the Twitter front page looks like now. We got X in the corner here. It's still twitter.com, which obviously I'm sure is a little confusing for a lot of people, especially those who are not at x.com. Hey, did you get x.com? Let's see. X.com. Oh, he did get x.com, but it redirects you to twitter.com/home. Ah. Why wouldn't it stay on x.com? I'm sure they'll fix that.
Rolled out kind of, again, like a lot of things happening with Twitter, late night announcements on a weekend, and then suddenly all things are moving at a fast pace of a Monday. So what we're seeing today is the X logo.
Nothing is pulled up for y.com.
It's on Elon Musk's own page. The @Twitter account is now an X logo, but it's still called @Twitter, and the buttons on the site still say tweet. And that's something that's really strong in the Twitter branding. Like, they actually created a whole language around social media, and you know, what was once called microblogging is simply referred to now as tweets. And I think to step away from that is
Yeah, like it's just wild to me. It's like, yeah, this is something that's already been ingrained in popular society. It's like, even today, even though like Twitter is not considered a super popular social media site, especially not a rapidly growing one, the way like TikTok is, for example, people still talk about tweets. Like, even people who aren't very attached to the internet still know what a tweet is. You know, you're getting rid of all of that.
Well, it's it's a tricky situation. And it's incredibly complex.
Yeah, it's a good one, indeed. I mean, we don't even have an app that's as good as WeChat in China. And like in China, you can like live on WeChat, basically. Yeah. It's like, yeah, everyone's like, like you live on WeChat, you do payments, you do everything. It's like, yeah, it's great. Basically, WeChat's kick ass. And we don't have anything like WeChat outside of China. So I was like, my idea would be like, how about if we just copy WeChat? Hey. Copy them.
Buys Twitter, copies WeChat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love how everyone's like, yeah, that's so cool. What a brilliant man. Listen to his ideas.
Essentially, if done right, the X would be would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
Or some big number.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big.
Big.
So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks.
Mhm.
Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like least amount.
The most efficient database for the thing that is money. I feel like you haven't thought this one through. I feel like this is an idea in your head that's cool in concept. You got this thing called X, and then it's like it controls basically like half of the global economy. How? You know, like NFTs and stuff, blockchain. It's cool though.
Fraud. Everything's real time.
Everything's real time.
And if it involves money in any way, it can be dealt with seamlessly on one location.
Again, it's like, I guess the real credit in all this goes to whatever PR team was capable of making the world believe that this was the world's smartest human, you know, for so long. Just kind of weird mythos that Elon Musk had amongst, like, you know, I'll grant you it was mostly amongst like a lot of dude bros and like, but even liberals loved him. Even liberals back in the day were like, well, you know, Elon Musk is the good billionaire. There's a lot of bad billionaires, I'll grant you, and there's like, you know, a lot of them that are destroying society, but not Elon Musk. He's got the electric car. He popularized it, something that no one said could be done. If anything, he's actually using his powers for good. He's saying that he's taking the red pill. He said that he's a socialist and he's going to give away like all of his possessions. He's like, he barely owns anything. Like the guy doesn't care about like all of our material pursuits or shit like that. He's beyond that. He's kind of like some kind of Martian, if you will, a spaceman, someone who's just operating at a higher level, a higher intellect. And it's like, this is a 16-year-old horny boy who tries to pay for sex in horses. That's all there is to this. That's, you know, like a horny 16-year-old who's like, X is cool. Can I pay you in horses for fucking hand jobs now?
Essentially, if
like, and people ate it up for so long. Like the Joe Rogans of the world are just like, bro, this guy, bro. Like, no, he knows, you know? It's so cool. Here's the only X that matters to me.
It's Mr. X to the Z exhibit. Yeah. Bounce. Come on.
How about if Exhibit challenges Musk legally, saying that like he was the first, he got to this quicker, so he controls the X empire, all right? And then he starts his own social media, and we all join for funds. But the rule, and what makes it unique, is that you can only speak in music lyrics. That's it. So you can say whatever musical lyric you want, but that's the only way. You have to be able to reference what you're saying as a musical lyric. So it doesn't matter what genre it is, it can be any genre of music. You can make fun of people, you can fire at them, you can clap back, you can do some reply guys, whatever you do, but it has to be the lyrics of a song, and see if that does better. I would posit that that's probably a better idea, right? Like, you're already interested. I see a lot of you wanting to join in. Well, the Twitter name is coming off the building right now, but Elon Musk didn't get the permit for the equipment on the streets, so they're setting it. Oh no, the tweet is unavailable. Oh, it automatically blocked, that's why. Wayne Sutton, you should have paid for this website. until they stopped. It just says Yes, please give this man your banking information. Do it. Send all of your banking information to Elon Musk. Give him your credit card info. Give him your fucking phone number. Trust this man with your money. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you kindly to our Lord and Saviors Peyton L. Just and Xander Corvus. Without you, we are nothing. And now, a shout out to our Knights of the Square Table. Amazing Flesh, Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, DM Rivera, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hegbard Celine, Izzy Solidarity, La Media Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Nettle, Omni, Peanut Butter Blonde, Political Papi, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Kubi, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Dimmel, Thomas, Trevbot EXE, Lucidry, Words Greenwood, Cheryl Alvarez, Tony Perkins, Thomas, O'Pecker, Travis McClinton, and Victoria Bell. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to all the other people who make this entire show possible. Without you, it would not exist. If you can support us, please go to patreon.com/theserfs, and even $1 can help unlock all of the little goodies and help make this show entirely possible.